Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Thomas Vance YouTube channel. Now, I didn't make a predictions video for Crown Jewel, but I was meant to. Regardless, we got my reactions. The show is literally finishing right now. Here's my reactions. First match out was the Bloodline, the original Bloodline versus the new Bloodline. Now, originally, my prediction for this match, I did not predict a winner. I thought this match ain't happening. They're going to get to the ring. They're going to fight. There's going to be like The Rock or something that's going to come out. It's going to descend into chaos. It's going to build to War Games. And I thought maybe Sami Zayn. I thought maybe The Rock. Some people are going to get added to this. And it's not going to just happen at Crown Jewel like that. And it's going to go to War Games. Instead, it started Reigns, Jimmy, Jay versus Solo, Jacob, Tama Tonga. Tonga Loa getting no TV time. You know, people say he's botching, but he's doing all right. A lot of people botch, you know. And this match goes on. And then the referee gets knocked down. And then I look away and I didn't see what happened. But Roman Reigns gets pinned clean by Solo Sikoa. Roman Reigns gets pinned clean. The tribal chief, the original tribal chief, gets pinned clean by Solo Sikoa. Now, although I think this move was surprising, and I didn't think it would happen. Definitely the wrong crowd for it. If this had happened in America or the UK, the reaction for that would have been absolutely insane. But Saudi Arabia were just kind of like, match is over. I mean, although it wasn't the ending I personally would have went with, I sort of didn't mind it because, A, it was surprising. No one saw it coming. We need something more like that, where it's not predictable. Like, a lot of big things have happened in the last couple of years. You know, Cody Rhodes coming back, CM Punk coming back, such and such being champion, such and such winning this happening. And everyone's predicted it. Everyone's called it. Everyone, because it's been dreams. It's been things people expect and people want. This, no one sort of really saw coming, at least not in the way it happened anyway. So, I like that they've done that. And also, it builds the new bloodline as a strong force, and it means the older bloodline are at a disadvantage. Now, at the end of that match, Sami Zayn came out because they were still fighting, and it's 4-on-3. Sami Zayn came out to help them, and obviously, on SmackDown last week, or Raw last week, they teased, you know, Jay was trying to convince Jimmy that Sami's cool, and then they did a shot where in the parking lot, they caught Sami talking to Solo Sikoa, and it had everyone thinking, oh shit, what's happening? So when Sami Zayn came out, all the original bloodline are down, and all the new bloodline are standing tall, and Sami's looking at them. It looks like, you know, whose side is Sami going to be on? And as a fan, you're kind of thinking, oh shit, Jay's in the corner with a chair over his neck. I was thinking Sami Zayn's going to turn around and haluva kick that motherfucker in the bottom corner. And then he went up to Solo Sikoa, he went to hug him, and then he hit him with the Explorer, and he started taking out the new bloodline. I like that from WWE, because they built a false story to get people thinking something's going to happen, and then they reversed it. Two unexpected things in that match. Nothing from The Rock, though. So it looks like War Games, which is in 4 weeks, by the way. It's on the 30th. 4 weeks today, War Games. It's looking like it'll probably be Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso versus the new bloodline. But there was a bit of controversy at the end there and during the match. Jay tagged Jimmy and not Reigns because Jay wants this whole new thing of we're not listening to what Reigns says anymore. It's all equal. Then at the end of the match, Sami Zayn accidentally hit Reigns and the new bloodline got away. And then Jimmy was like, what the fuck are you doing, Sami? And Jimmy kind of started trying to beef Sami, and then Jay jumped in to defend Sami, so there's a bit of controversy going on between the teams there, so it builds for War Games. What I want to know is The Rock going to play in this? Because I think it's Bloodline versus Bloodline, right? And The Rock is part of that Bloodline, and I think although, like, it would be cheap to just add the legends in, I think it makes sense, you know? And you've got 8 men in that match, 7 of them are in the same family, then you've got Sami Zayn, and it makes sense, because he was the honorary Uso, you know? And The Rock, we're kind of unsure whose side he's on, but I hope to see him at War Games. Maybe get interrupted in the match, pick a side, do something, you know? They bring back the Wise Men, then the new bloodline bring in The Rock. Who knows? But I want to see The Rock get involved. and I'm liking the angle, and hopefully it's them at War Games. I mean, what other War Games match would you have? Second match out was a match that we didn't know was happening, but it happened anyway. The Women's Tag Team Champions, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, defended against Damage Control, Kairi Sane, and Io Sky. I mean, yes. And Doudrop and Piper Niven and Chelsea Green, not Doudrop and Piper Niven, that's the same person. And then Lash Legend and whatever the other one's called. I forgot what they're called because they're quite new. They're from NXT and I don't follow NXT that well. So yeah, didn't see this Fatal 4-Way match coming, but I'm glad they added it because it just means the Women's Tag Team Champions are doing something because they never really do anything. And incredible match. I mean, I kept taking my eyes off it because I'm talking to people, looking at my phone, kept taking my eyes off it, but it looked like a good match. And then Jade and Bianca won, retained. I think it's good, makes the champions look strong. It means the champions are doing something, otherwise they're just forgettable champions. And I hate when WWE have champions and then do nothing with them. So I like that. Next match was Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, the feud, the feud that kind of kept Seth off TV for a bit and kind of took Seth away from the CM Punk Drew McIntyre picture so they can let CM Punk Drew McIntyre unfold, let CM Punk take time off, Seth take time off, and then build CM Punk Seth Rollins for WrestleMania. So Bronson Reed is kind of that step away for Seth Rollins. And this match happened and Seth Rollins won, beat Bronson Reed, but I feel like that's not the end of it. I think they're not just going to have them feud for a few weeks and then have the match and then that be it, one and done. I think Bronson Reed's going to continue to attack him. He's going to continue to try and make a name. Maybe a 2-match, maybe the next match might have a stipulation, or Bronson Reed wins the next match and then they do a trilogy. Either way, I think that's going to keep on going and they're just going to build to Seth versus CM Punk at WrestleMania at some point. Maybe in the third match, CM Punk shows his face. I don't know. But again, I would have thought Seth to win that match. I didn't really think about winners too much because I didn't make a predictions video, like I said. Yeah. Next match out was, I believe it was Liv Morgan versus, obviously, it was the Crown Jewel champion versus champion, Women's World Heavyweight Champion Liv Morgan versus Women's WWE Champion Nia Jax. I think this was the most obvious fight of the night. I think it was obvious that Liv Morgan was going to win. Liv Morgan had Raquel Rodriguez on her side. Both women were heels. Liv Morgan could take the win more. She's more favoured by the fans. But I think it was an obvious thing that Tiffany Stratton was going to get involved and it was kind of going to cost Nia Jax. It was just going to put a bit of heat between Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. And plus, yeah, I think that was just written in the stars. But also, I think it's great that Tiffany hasn't cashed in yet because people are always going to call cash-ins, and I think some of the best cash-ins were the ones you didn't expect. The greatest cash-in of all time, Seth Rollins, heist of the century. No one knew that was going to happen. Despite it being a big stage of a WWE Championship match, no one knew that was going to happen. I think build hype to WWE cash-ins. I think the last good, proper good WWE cash-in we had, memorable one. Don't even think I could tell you. Maybe Dean Ambrose, 2016. Genuinely, I know Damian Priest's was good. I know Io Sky's was good. But they were very predictable. And they're not really memorable. So I'm glad they didn't cash in. And I mean, that the result of that match was a very obvious one. For me, anyway. Then they had Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Now, Randy Orton is in my top 5 wrestlers of all time. Absolute legend. I saw him live in Newcastle when he came. And just when he was out for a year and he was injured, I realised what an absolute GOAT he was. I realised he is one of the GOATs. And Kevin Owens is my favourite current WWE superstar. My second favourite of all time. And he was advertised for Newcastle and never showed up. Obviously, it's not his fault. It's WWE's fault. I was a bit disappointed, but it's fine because I had a class night anyway. I did go there repping my Kevin Owens shirt, but it's fine. And I left with a John Cena shirt, my 2 favourites of all time. John Cena's obviously the greatest of all time. This match, again, I didn't have a prediction for. I mean, I could have maybe seen Kevin Owens winning a dirty win, Randy Orton just getting a win because typical WWE face heel, put over the face thing. But I like the direction it went. The match didn't really happen. I mean, they rang the bell, but it just descended into chaos. Kevin Owens hit the referee. Kevin Owens going Raj. They're literally scrapping, and it's a no contest. Randy Orton RKO'd Adam Pearce. A lot of shit happened, and I like that because it's just going to build. It's just going to build the fact that, Kevin Owens is that fighter again, and Randy Orton's not gonna let it stand, and he's gonna have that veteran play, and he's not gonna let Kevin get away with it. It's gonna build a feud, and it's gonna build something bigger. I just like it. And maybe it's gonna bring out a vicious side of Randy Orton, and then eventually maybe we'll get that heel turn on Cody Rhodes from Randy Orton. Just saying. The next match was again another one that was announced on the day. Like, we wasn't originally happening, but then got announced on the day. A match that we've been waiting for a long time. The triple threat match. LA Knight defends the United States Championship against Andrade and Carmelo Hayes in a triple threat match. I mean, Andrade and Carmelo. Why did I say Carmelo? Carmelo Hayes have been having their best of like 7 series. I believe it's 3-3 or 4-3 Carmelo. But they've been at the same time both been in talks with LA Knight, had matches with LA Knight, and this triple threat match was obviously just strung together to put on the show. Absolute class match. I mean, literally, like, you put any combination of those 3 men in the ring, they're gonna have a banger. Honestly, obviously, I think LA Knight was the obvious winner. They weren't gonna just drop the belt like that. But I think if Andrade won, wouldn't have been mad. If Carmelo Hayes, wouldn't have been mad. But obviously, it was the right move to just keep LA Knight as champion. You know, build him up, have some better matches in the future. Then we had the main event. This was the match where I had no clue who was going to win, because it made sense for both men. I mean, you had the World Heavyweight Champion, Gunther, versus the WWE Champion, Cody Rhodes. Now, you could see Gunther winning that, because in one year, he was Intercontinental Champion to start the year. Lost at WrestleMania, but then he became King of the Ring. Then he became World Heavyweight Champion. He's a technical wrestler, and he's the ring general. He's very powerful. No one can really out-wrestle. No one can beat up Gunther. And, you know, and he's painted the pictures like Cody Rhodes is trying to be like a new John Cena, like he's trying to be a flashy wrestler, whereas Gunther's an actual dangerous wrestler. And I think to have someone who was legitimately dangerous and someone who was legitimately skilled as the champion would have made sense. But at the same time, Cody Rhodes is the biggest name in the company, and Cody Rhodes is the star, and to have Cody Rhodes win again would make sense, you know. And maybe there was a thought that Gunther could have won because somebody could have got involved with Cody, maybe Kevin Owens or maybe Roman Reigns or The Rock. None of that happened. And again, I didn't know who was going to win. But regardless, I don't know why I didn't see this outcome coming. But apparently they were building the whole time that Gunther was going to choke Cody out with a sleeper. And then it ended where, you know, by the way, I love this match. Technical wrestling. You know, slow to fast pace, you know, like Gunther's keeping it slow, and then Cody Rhodes speeding it up. It reminds me of like John Cena versus The Rock type match. Like, it was a very, very good match. I love that match. And then the match ended where Cody Rhodes went for a Cody cutter. Gunther caught him in a sleeper hold, gets down on the floor, and Cody Rhodes rolls him up, and it's a quick 1, 2, 3. Like, it was a Gunther lost, but didn't lose his respect. Like, it was like a cheap, like, out of nowhere win. You know, kind of complain. And I think that was probably the right thing to do, because having Gunther win without the star power of Cody is a bit risky. You know, you don't want to kill Cody off. He's already not had the best storylines in his WWE Championship run, so you don't want to kind of let him down like that. But I think the ending was great. Perfect ending. I mean, yeah, I've got no complaints. Solid pay-per-view, to be fair. And they did that all. 7 matches, by the way. They usually have about 5 matches, maybe 6. They had 7 matches in 3 hours. Very impressive. I won't lie. For a pay-per-view, very impressive. I wasn't mad. Saudi Arabia was way more animated than they usually are as well. Saudi Arabia was all over the place with the chants. They were loving it. Yeah, no complaints here. Can't wait for War Games though. I think there's some obvious matches we need to say War Games, like the War Games match or Bloodline versus New Bloodline. Put an end to the Bloodline story once and for all. I mean, this Bloodline story has got to be the greatest story in the history of wrestling. Literally, the story's been going on for 4 years, end of 2020, and we're at the end of 2024, and we've still got the Bloodline making a story about the Bloodline. It's fantastic. Started with Reigns versus Jey Uso while Jimmy was injured. Yet we're here with Solo Sikoa moved up to the main roster, bringing Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga Loa into WWE as a new Bloodline to take on the formerly, you know, divided Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn as the Bloodline. I mean, it's fantastic. I cannot wait. But this is my rant done. Great, solid pay-per-view. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.